What's up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here, and some of you guys may be wondering why there is a fellowship thumbnail on a World War Minecraft clip. You kind of have a good reason for being curious. Basically, the reason why is I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about World War Minecraft and kind of the future and the plan of World War Minecraft, and kind of just get some input from you guys. A lot of times, things that you think are going to work out really, really well when you first envision them or you first come up with them don't necessarily work out well when it actually comes down to implementing them, if that makes sense. So, for instance, when we originally came up with World War Minecraft, this was back, I think it was when I first saw the ICBM mod back in August of 2012, I think it was. It was the year before we started, and we kind of started it in January, so it was a while back. I first pitched it to our Minecraft collab group when we were all doing, what was it, Legendary together. And I thought it'd be a really cool idea, and the problem was just going to be getting it all to work out. And a lot of people who don't do YouTube don't really understand how difficult a collaborative project is. You know, anytime you're bringing other people in to work with you, things get difficult. You know, you have to manage their times, your times, their schedules. Not only that, but you know, your idea has to be similar enough to something that they're interested in because you're trying to pitch it. You know, it's not just for you; it's also for them. And you know, on some of these series, kind of like World War Minecraft, you know, this is a daily or a weekly series. This is something that, you know, you're hoping that the server or the group will embrace, and you know, it takes some commitment from the group. So when we first started doing it, it was me, Silent, Elemental Steve, and I think at that time John Nethervoid had quit playing Minecraft for the time. He's back doing it now, but at the time he was focusing on his main channel. You know, he was having some problems with stuff over there, and he wanted to make sure that, you know, he was focusing on his real user base, which is another, you know, it's kind of like I said earlier. You know, you want to make sure that the collaborative project that you're trying to work out is going to be something that everybody's interested in, because if they're not, you know, you're kind of spending time on something that folks, you know, either have no interest in or they have other projects that they're doing that they may not be able to work on. So, you know, we had a pretty decent group of folks at the time. You know, we had, you know, over 150,000 subscribers between us all, and you know, it was a solid group for doing something with. And when we first tried it off, you know, I know how to run certain aspects of mod packs, but for anybody who's, you know, tried to get me to help them with World War Minecraft in the past, you know, month or so, you'll know I no longer handle the mods, and I no longer handle the server at all, period. You know, me and Lem talk. I kind of tell Lem what I'm looking for and what I'd like to have, and Lem makes it happen or can't make it happen, just depending. And that's how things go, and that's cause, like I said, I'm not a mod pack guy. You know, I can set up a basic bucket server, but that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge. Anything beyond just, you know, basic bucket plugins, and even sometimes those, it's beyond my purview. And the problem that we ran into when we first started the server, and I'm giving you guys a shit ton of backstory, you know, to kind of explain where we are and, you know, where we're going. So just kind of bear with me for a bit. So anyways, like I was saying, you know, Lim kind of took over things because I just don't have it. And, you know, people don't really understand how much time and effort goes into some of these mod packs. I mean, you know, there's different qualities of mod packs. You know, some mod packs are thrown together rather quickly. Their level or their standard of excellence or quality or whatever you want to call it is not as high. I personally think World War Minecraft's quality is above most people's, and that's specifically, and I'm not necessarily talking about the mods in the pack. I'm strictly talking about the stability, the functionality, and how well it works. You know, the bug freeness that our pack has. And anybody who's been around for a while will know when we first started, it was anything but that. In fact, that's what caused Finbar and David to kind of leave the project. They couldn't handle the technical issues, and you know, I don't blame them at the time. The server was very unstable at the time, and you know, a lot of people don't realize, but you know, this is how we pay our bills. This is how we feed us and or our families. And so, it's anything that hampers the recording process or the videos from coming out, whether it's player or viewer interest, or whether it's just technical difficulties in this standpoint, it really hurts. And that's why we ended up losing all of the YouTubers back in, I guess it was season 2 or season 3. That was right about the time Exile took over, and we literally could not. We had almost 2 months of complete instability where we could not get things running. It just would not work. And I'm not slamming on Exile. Exile did an amazing job for what he did with. It's a hard thing to do. And then at that time we kind of picked up Lem. Lem was able to. Lem's an older individual. He's he's older than I am, I believe. And he does IT and coding and things like that for a living. So, obviously he's going to be better than I am. The other side of this is once World War Minecraft stopped being a YouTube server, and one could argue it hasn't been a real, true YouTube server in about 3 months, the focus kind of shifted. We wanted... At that point in time, it was kind of apparent that my original World War Minecraft idea wasn't going to work. The original idea for World War Minecraft was going to be, YouTubers fighting it out, subscribers participating, at least to a limited extent, and then having exchanges and having conflict and things along those lines. And that works amazingly well. You'll know in my Fellowship series and soon in my, 7 Days to Die series, that's what those series thrive on, and it's great for YouTube. People love watching their favorite YouTuber fighting either another one of their favorite YouTubers, or maybe just getting their asses kicked. It just kind of depends, but it's always interesting to watch. And unfortunately, once we added, and I am not blaming subscribers for this. I love my subscribers. You guys are what allows me to do what I do, and without you guys, I'd be working a 9 to 5 somewhere or worse. Trying to pay the bills. But once we added subscribers to the mix, not all of you guys are nice guys, and some of you guys just want to kill a YouTuber. And things got difficult. We tried to do open factions. All of the YouTubers did. That didn't work. You had people who were trolling, people whose sole purpose in the game was just to make sure that the YouTuber didn't get started. And I think after Meaty and German lost their 3rd or 4th base, they kind of slowed down. I mean, German still comes in a while, but it's a lot of work. People don't realize how much work goes into and some of you guys do, but people don't realize how much work goes into some of this YouTube stuff, and you just don't have the time to, constantly rebuild your base every day. And, then you're trying to play with your subs and trying to, make sure that everybody feels like they're connected, and it just gets to a point where it doesn't work. And so at that point, we were like, we're going to try and switch things off of the PvE aspect. We're going to do more nations. We're going to do things where, once a month we'll have a fight. But the problem with that was, all the cool mods that everybody liked, they don't work with protections. So, like for instance, ICBM completely ignores protections. Yes, you can world guard regions, and there are ways to get at least semi-protection, but the problem with that is then you're walking around, every admin or every, town has to be manually world guarded, manually set to certain regions. If, somebody isn't on at the right time, then your base gets nuked. Now you're pissed off. You want us to roll your base back, except Hawkeye and, Core Protect don't recognize your base is even gone, because as far as it's concerned, it's still there because it doesn't recognize Forge functions. And so, the mods started, spending the majority of their day just trying to figure out who betrayed who and blew up whose base. And it got really, really frustrating. It got really tiring. And people, on both sides of the table were getting annoyed, because it's no fun for the player to, have made this faction of what he thought was all of his friends, only to, not realize he let in, douchebag Baggins to come in and fuck his shit up. And it's no fun for the admin, who has to spend 12 hours of his time figuring out who broke the rule, who broke protections, ban them, IP ban them, make sure that they're not coming back, and then listen to the 14 messages that he gets on WorldWarMinecraft.net. Oh, it was my brother, it wasn't me, I would never, etc., etc. And so then we were like, well, that didn't fucking work. Protections, I prefer protections, but they're just not working. The PvE idea isn't going. People want to fight. They don't want to just stand around. And we're like, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going to do the anarchy setup. And the nice thing about anarchy is you don't have to worry about protections. It's much easier on the staff. And at the time, we had a very skeleton staff. People just log on, and if you die, you die. Sorry, it's an anarchy server. That's how it works. Well, we tried that for a bit. I got kind of, some folks didn't like the tech mods because it was just pure chaos. So we tried to do the medieval setup, and that was going to work a little bit better. Unfortunately, Ars Magica fucked that up. The overpowered stuff came in, and we had a couple good solid videos. If some of you guys remember from like in August when we were running around and doing those raiding videos on a daily basis, we were actually having good sword and board and arrow fights, and engagements were lasting. You're having epic battles, and that was awesome. I actually thought it was going to work. It was going to be great. And then somebody found the Archangel's podium. Spells started doing 2x damage, and it that faction just basically could destroy everyone else. And, then it was trying to figure out, well, is there a way to counter it? Well, there are some ways to counter it, but in reality, no, there's no real way to counter it. You're just going to get two-shot. And it just got to the point where it was like, okay, well, that's gay. So now we got to remove that. And then, it's like, well, people want more tech mods. And so we tried to bring some tech in, and unfortunately at that point, we'd gotten to the point where it was like, all right, well, we're no longer, a PvE setup. We're no longer really PvP anymore. I mean, we've got some cool gun mods, but now we're just like Call of Duty because there's no real, long-term character development, and things just kind of stalemated and stagnated because, we're trying to figure things out. And so we tried to reboot it the past couple days, past week or two, by adding in Galacticraft and Mistcraft and some of those things back. But again, we're running into the same old problems that we had previously. Galacticraft, great mod. Love it. Will not work on the server. The oxygen machines, when they seal the oxygen, and some of you guys who have watched my series, you know that I've had some problems with them. Specifically them just deciding, well, we're not going to seal. They cause massive server lag. The space station that was getting constructed for part of my series, when the space station was on and operational, it brought the server to 7 ticks per second. For those of you guys who don't know Minecraft lingo, 7 ticks per second is about 30% of the horsepower of our server. And this was at non-prime time when no one was on. So basically, it's kind of like taking your nice, beautiful hot rod and then ripping the engine out of it and putting mom's minivan in it. And it's just like, fuck, well, it's so bad we can't even have one YouTuber's space station going. What are we going to do when we have, 50 some odd people with space stations? It's like, that's not going to work. And then we're like, well, maybe Mistcraft will work. Well, Mistcraft's got some problems too that's causing lag. We can't have everybody making Mistcraft ages because each age is 50 megs. And, for me personally, you guys watched my series. I made, 30 ages trying to find the setup that I want. And then it's like, well, we could, create these ages for people, but then everybody's going to have an OP age. And, the problem comes back to, well, how the fuck are we going to get this going? And it all comes kind of down to what works for YouTube and what is amazing on YouTube isn't amazing for a server. And, the truth of the matter comes down to, when you're doing YouTube full time, it is a full-time job. It is something. I wake up in the morning, I get up at, today I woke up at 11 o'clock, got up, had my Red Bull, checked my emails, and then I've basically been working until, I did some, oh shit, what the hell? I did some encoding and some recording work, some video editing and such. And then at 4 o'clock I went and ran to have dinner with the family, came home, streamed for 2 hours. And then I tested out a couple games so that I could do those. And then now I'm recording this after checking the forums. And, here in about an hour, I'll finally be done with work and it'll be time for bed. And then we'll start it all over again. And the problem with that is a good Minecraft server with a good community and good admins needs somebody on 24/7. And thankfully, we've gotten really lucky with Lem and Mouse and people like that who do have more playtime than I do. Unfortunately, they're kind of hamstrung because they're trying to make me happy. They're trying to make you guys happy. And unfortunately, those two sides conflict so hard because, like I said, what makes a great YouTube series makes a terrible Minecraft server. And it just gets frustrating because, poor Lem's trying to make me happy. We're all trying to make you guys happy and trying to beat it somewhere in the middle, and we end up pissing everybody off. And, there's been a lot of posts on the forums for the past couple days. People have been bitching, they don't like this, they don't like that, they want this, they want that. And, it's basically the same old arguments. People are wanting more tech, they're wanting protections, and, it's possible to implement those in a fashion, but it is not going to be, the same level of functionality that people are kind of wanting. Protections, again, don't really work well with Forge. Full all-scale war doesn't really work. It's fun in a YouTube-controlled environment because, me and Steve, we can kind of agree, all right, bro, I'm not going to attack you for 6 weeks. We'll both get on together. We'll meet up on Tuesday at 5 o'clock, and we'll do an attack. And it's not necessarily scripted, but I make sure Steve's on. I make sure Steve knows what I'm going to do. Make sure Steve's ready to fight. I want a fun video. I don't want to just walk over there and wipe Steve off the server. And when you're playing Minecraft on a faction or an anarchy server, you don't give a fuck if Steve's ready. You want to fucking kill Steve. You want to get Steve off the server. You want to make him your bitch. And in that instance, it's about as far from the other option as possible. And I don't know. I'm frustrated because I don't know a way to fix it and make it all nice and pleasant. There's no real way to make everybody happy. The things that I want, while some of you guys would like them, because I like the tech mods. But, as I said, it just doesn't make a real good server. And one of you guys on the forums was like, well, why don't you just turn it back into a YouTube server? Well, we definitely can. The problem is, last week I think we had 400 people log onto the server. Well, obviously, that's not 400 active people. That's some people who hopped on the server, took a look, and decided, you know what, don't really like it. It's not for me, blah, blah, blah. But, we've got at least 50 to 100 active people. Right now, we have no active YouTubers other than me. So if we were to turn this back into a YouTube server, I'm going to recruit YouTubers, which means we're going to pull in a whole new group of people with their subscribers. So that means all, 50 to 100 of you active players, I might get to pull 2 or 3 of you guys. And that's going to be the YouTube server, because we're going to have 4 or 5 new YouTubers on. Everybody's going to be doing their thing. And you guys are going to kind of get screwed in the process. And for me, I don't think that's what you guys want. I don't think that's, some of you guys want a YouTube server because in your mind, you're like, well, shit, I'm going to get picked. Obviously it's going to be great. I'm going to love it. I'm going to get to play and, we're going to have fun. We're going to get to do this, et cetera, et cetera. And, odds are you're probably not going to be one of the ones picked. And it sucks because, you guys got to understand, again, with a YouTube server, you only build when the YouTuber's on. So if, I've only got time to record twice a week, you're only playing twice a week. And that's not a whole lot of fun. You're going to be doing what the YouTuber wants, not what you want to do. You're going to be building the base the YouTuber wants, not the base that you want to build. You're going to be fighting the people that the YouTuber wants to fight, and you may be winning or losing the battle based on what the YouTubers decide. We may decide that we're going to get our asses kicked by Steve this week because it makes a better video. And in that instance, you get your ass kicked because it entertains us, but it may not necessarily entertain you. And that's the problem with the YouTube server. So I, in all honesty, do not know what to do with World War Minecraft. I've been trying to fight because last August, we almost shut the server down. There was, we had a bunch of chargebacks. People were getting kind of annoyed and frustrated, and we were having a lot of problems. And it was like, you know what? This may just not be, what we need to do. People may just need to, because like I said, you guys need an active person that plays on the server very similar to the way I do YouTube. Some of the most successful Minecraft servers are successful because the admins are playing on them 10 hours a day. And I spend probably 16 hours a day doing YouTube. So, I can't do that with Minecraft. I just don't have the time. I mean, I can do it with Minecraft. I just can't do it with World War Minecraft. Because I've got 3 series that I've got to record, plus encode, plus live stream, plus a whole nother YouTube channel. And, it just gets to the point where, it's frustrating. So, I understand that a lot of you players are frustrated. I understand that you guys want, your own perfect server. And I completely understand. And if it were in my power to make all of you guys happy, that would definitely be what I would do. Unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world. We live about as far from a perfect world as is humanly possible. On the other galaxy, in another dimension, and millions of light years away from it. And so we kind of have to deal with what we've got to deal with now. I'm going to talk to Lem. We're going to see what we want to do and how we want to solve the issue. This is the first time in a long time that we've had this many posts and this many people unsatisfied. And I don't know if it's the majority or if it's just one faction that's gotten butthurt or angry and they've decided to make a big stink. And if that's the case, let me know and we'll just continue on business as usual. But, things are changing. People are, kind of letting us know they want a different setup and we've got to work through it. So if you've got an idea that you would like to see for World War Minecraft, let me know in the comment section or on worldwarminecraft.net. This video is going to go up on the front page about 10 minutes after I record it. I think it's about 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday evening. So keep that in mind. Also understand that if, things just get too hard and too nasty, the ultimate option is just to simply shut the server down. So keep that in mind. I play for my job and I play for fun. I don't play for, annoying people and frustrations and more importantly, high school bullshit. So, keep that in mind too. We want everybody to be happy, but at the same time, if it's not possible to make people happy, it may just be better to retire the server and call it a day. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments section or on the website. What is your thought process? What do you think is the way to fix this and solve this in a way that can make both sides happy? Would love to hear your feedback. And, just understand that, for those of you guys on the forums on World War Minecraft website, there are proper ways to express anger and frustration, and throwing a toddler hissy fit is not the way to do it. Once you get to be my age, toddler hissy fits start sounding a lot like Charlie Brown's mom, and you just kind of zone out after the foot stamping and the screaming and whatnot. So keep that in mind. Try and make your arguments nice, logical, because I'm not your enemy. I'm not out here to fight you. The mods in the server aren't your enemy. We all want the same thing, so there's no reason to be dicks about it. Keep that in mind. And like I said, worst case scenario, we retire the server, we start a new series, or we revert the server to 100% YouTubers, and we go from there. Unfortunately, that will be kind of a sticky situation. Keep in mind, if you have donated and we do decide to do something like that, there will be some form of limited refunds for donors. Specifically, if you've donated in the last 30 days, we would probably take care of you. So keep that in mind. That being said, if it's been longer than 30 days, you're probably on your own. So keep that in mind for where we are. Also, understand the server is paid for the next 2 months. So regardless, whatever we decide, the server is going to be there for the next 2 months. So everybody's going to get their money's worth. So don't worry about that. We're not out here to scam anybody. We're not out here to run off with anybody's cash. And everybody's going to have a chance to enjoy what they enjoy. But, it may be time to do, some drastic reworkings. It may be time that World War Minecraft as a server ends, but we start something up that's, more PvE oriented. 0 PvP, 100% PvE, building. And when I say PvE, I mean player versus environment. Not fighting other people, but, working together, building tech, building bases and things along those lines. And if that's something you guys want, let us know and we can see what we can do. Obviously, when you're dealing with a large user base of 50 to 60 people, there's a lot of restrictions and things you got to be careful with because people, again, are dicks. So, you can't have people building 14 quarries and feeding them all into one single buildcraft pipe and then spewing them all over our room so it lags the server off. But, we are open to your ideas. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Keep it friendly. Keep it civil. Remember, we're all on the same side. Sorry for rambling, guys, but I did want to get the update, give my side of things. let you guys know what I think. And now it's time for me to hear what you guys think. So leave them in the comments section, post it on the website. As always, if you like the video, slap that like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.